Hello and welcome back to the Winning Agendas coverage of online Jinteki.net matches. This is the last game in my Kate series. We're up against Argus. I think we will take a mulligan here. Film Critic is a nice one. So we'll lead off with the Film Critic. Take a look at R&D. Oh, sorry, HQ. And it's a snare. How unfortunate. We will trash that snare, remove the tag, and run HQ again, I think. Hopefully not another snare. We'll host that on the Film Critic. Alright, so a rollicking first turn. Lost our grip, unfortunately. Possibly could have done various things differently there. Installing the Deus Ex would have protected us against snare. However, we didn't do that. But we managed to steal a geothermal fracking, which is always nice. Given we know the snares in the deck, I don't think there's really a need for us to run. But I'm in a risk-taking mood, so we'll just hope this is an agenda and not a snare. Grim. Okay, good to know. So we've already got one bad pub. Grim possibly going to give us another one. But also not terribly scary right at the moment. Although this deck does have a slight weakness to high-strength sentries, so it's good to know that there is a Grim going around. Draw, see what we can find. I think we'll gain a credit and install the code for now. 3 is a good place to be because it means that we can play Lucky Finds if we draw them. Technical Writer would have been nice before installing the code, but unfortunately it perished to the snare. A lot of drawing going on here. Not quite sure exactly what's going on, but there could be sort of 2 agendas going to archives. You never know. We're just going to run archives first, because even if it's 2 agendas, we can just remove the tag. But no, it's a Seasource and a Crisium Grid. Right. Seasource makes me a little bit worried, because it means that we're not seeing a mid-seasons variant. Plus, we're quite low on credits at the moment. So draw once more. 4 cards and no Plasgrid is about as good as we can do at the moment in terms of resisting Scorched Earth. So we're just going to have to hope that there aren't 2 Scorched Earths going around here. Alright, so it looks like our opponent is drawing pretty hard for the kill. So at this point, knowing that our opponent's playing Seasource, we just sort of want to sit back. We're not under a heap of scoring pressure. We're actually up 2 points to 1 from that early fracking steal, which is always nice and always a pain for the Argus player. And we do have the Film Critic in play, so I think we can afford, now that we've drawn the Technical Writer, to install that and then just be dripping the economy in over the next few turns to hopefully compete on money. We'll draw first though, see what we get. That's a nice one. It's nice, but a little bit annoying. This turn, we're just going to make use of the free install on the Technical Writer to get it going that 1 turn earlier. And install the Data Sucker for free. Which means that we don't get the benefit of the Lucky Find this turn, but that's okay, we can do that next turn. So we'll draw now, because we do still want more cards. Hoping to still find contacts to take us into the mid-game. Or a modded would also be nice for this lady and interface. Alright, possibly seeing a scoring server getting developed here. Lucky Find is going to be really helpful. I'm going to draw first. Plascrete is also super nice at this point. Not only feeding the Technical Writer, but giving us some resilience to Scorched Earth. So now with the Plascrete, as long as we stay above 4 cards, we can't die to Scorched Earth or, to double Scorched Earth, or Scorched Earth Traffic Accident. So Jackson getting removed there. And we're seeing an Oaktown renovation go down. Okay. So we can assume that that's probably a Grim there, one of those two pieces of ice on the remote, which is a little bit of a pain to deal with given how low we are on credits. So I think at this point we might just give R&D a look. Draw a couple of times in case we can find a modded. We can't, so I think we'll just run R&D in the hope that we can install clone chip last click. Run now just so that we don't cop it from a snare too badly in terms of not being able to remove the tag. Data Raven, a little bit of an annoying one, as we saw last game. Our only really good way to deal with it on an ongoing basis is Atman at 4 and removing the tag after runs. So seeing that on R&D, a little bit annoying because against this deck we're not going to be wanting to score heaps of agendas in one turn because of the tag threat. And even with one Plascreed out, if we float tags, we can still get double Scorched Earth Traffic accidented to death or triple Scorched. So we need to be aware of that. So we want to try and snipe some more points here before having to float tags from the Data Raven. So I'm going to try and go on HQ this turn. First we're going to draw to see what sort of economy we can find. That's a nice one. Sure gamble. Run on HQ. Still hoping to draw a modded in the next couple of turns. Use the bad pub and we'll install a Corroder here. A Lady is good, but Corroder's fine against Meramati, and it just means that we can keep getting in. Especially because we've got a bad pub, it's only really effectively 2 to get in. Chimera? Okay. And then, I mean, we can install the Clot. It's not great though. I think I'd rather install the Code just to give us access to the Atman and the Mimic. So in this deck, it's unlikely to have Cyberdex Virus Suite, so relying on Mimic and Data Sucker to get through Data Raven is not the worst in the world. Additionally, this is a toughie actually. So 3 ice, we might have a little bit of trouble getting in there to steal that agenda. Assume that it's going to be another Fracking or an Atlas. So we have a couple of codes. I think we'll draw first click here. Yeah, I mean, modded interface is fine. Then we can use the technical writer and then run on that remote. Last click's not ideal. Code gate also not ideal. This is tough. I mean, we can get Gordian Blade, we can get Atman at 0, but Atman at 0 is really not going to help us with Grim. And there's almost guaranteed to be a Grim hiding in there. We can get rid of the Data Sucker and get in by clone chipping self-modifying code and getting both Gordian Blade or Atman at 0 and a Sentry Breaker, but really to get past Grim it'd have to be Gordian Blade and Atman at 5, which I don't think is really where we want to be. So we'll jack out, unfortunately, there. Not having contacts in this game hurting us a little bit, which is very, very unfortunate. However, we do still have a couple of tricks up our sleeve. First of all, we'll run HQ, I think, just to check. Our opponent's on 5, so we're not sort of in absolute dire straits just yet. So we'll match the strength of Miramati and break. But we don't really want to see a 2-pointer going down into that server next turn. We won't trash Jackson. We'll make his eye. Take a tag. And we'll get a Mimic. Break the Data Sucker. Sorry, break the Data Raven with the Data Sucker. Continue. Hoping for no snares. Hostile. I think we can afford to steal in the hope that we Argus will take 2 meat damage. Oh dear, hold on. Meat damage is coming now. Didn't realize the trigger was coming. Alright, there we go. So it is programmed. Suffers 2 meat damage. No, don't want to prevent damage. I think we've got all sorts of trigger issues going on here. I'm just going to leave it for now. I'm going to use the Film Critic to host the Oaktown. Access a card from deck. Not prevent any of the meat damage. Excellent. Worked out well. Ice Wall is fine. And then Oaktown Renovation with the steal. And that's the game. That's lucky. So we'll take the tag on that one. And then we'll add those to our score area and win. Oh, that's very lucky. That worked out well. 3 agendas. In the top 4 cards, managed to get there. That was going to be a little bit tricky. We did have 4 credits to remove the 2 tags if we absolutely needed to, so we were going to be okay, but certainly prefer to win on that turn than have to continue. So thanks to our opponents, all of them throughout this series. Thanks to all of you for tuning in and watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video coverage of the Kate deck. The thing about it, which you've probably seen throughout these videos, is that it's got a lot of tools to deal with a lot of different decks. Having the Film Critics in there, as I mentioned, in the deck tech is really useful against, Argus, PE, and Harpsichord. Didn't work out quite as well as you would have liked against Harpsichord, but having the Clot in there as well just slows down those fast advanced decks, gives you a couple of extra turns to try and set up your big impactful R&D runs. Thanks a lot for watching. You can support us if you would like at patreon.com/thewinningagenda, or you can tune in every week to our podcast as usual on a Monday. Thank you all again, and I'll speak to you soon. Cheers. This has been Jesse for The Winning Agenda.